Hello and welcome back to Mod Review, the series where I'll be looking at different mods, particularly the more underrated ones, to see if they're any good. Today we're looking at the OP Minigun mod, and this mod adds a few new accessories, new weapons, and a few new ammo types. So the first thing we're going to look at is some of the accessories. Now, there are some pretty interesting accessories in here, particularly movement and some offensive ones. So first we're going to look at the Frost Fire Boots, and this requires the Frostspark Boots and the Lava Waders. This essentially just combines the two. It's not that useful, but it is nice. And then we're going to look at some wings. So the Legend 757's wings. And this requires 15 fragments from each of the pillars, 30 Luminite bars, Fishron wings, and then the Frost Fire Boots with the Shrimpy Truffle. Now this one can only be gotten in an expert mode world because the Shrimpy Truffle is in fact a drop from Duke Fishron in expert mode. And finally we're going to look at the perfectly generated item, which is definitely a reference to Starbound. That requires Royal Gel, Shield of Cthulhu, Worm Scarf, Brain of Confusion, the Honeycomb, the Hive Pack, an Avenger Emblem, a Spore Sack, and the Shiny Stone. Now, most of these accessories, excluding the Honeycomb and the Avenger Emblem, are exclusive to Expert mode. So they drop off to different bosses. That's King Slime, that's Eye of Cthulhu, that's the Eater of Worlds, that's Brain of Cthulhu, that's the Queen Bee, that's Plantera, and that is Golem. So let's have a look at all of these. So obviously these are wings, so they'll go there. These seem actually pretty good. So we've got a nice fast acceleration, and the nice thing with these is that we can actually hover. So if you hold down and jump at the same time, you will hover, just like the boots, the hoverboard, which is quite nice actually. Let's see how long we can go for. We seem to be able to go for quite a long time actually. Yeah, I don't think it's infinite, but it's definitely a long time. Let's have a look at those. So basically this item just adds all the aspects of all the other ones. You get an upgraded dash as well, so let's just remove the Shield of Cthulhu. Find something to dash in a minute, and obviously these are just a weaker version of those, so they're just standard boots. So next we're going to look at some of the weapons. Now this mod only adds one weapon, which is the minigun, which can be made in an ancient manipulator. So that requires a chain gun and 5 fragments of each of the pillars with 15 Luminite bars and an ammo reservation potion. But before we can use it, we're going to need some ammo. And this mod adds 2 different ammos. So it adds a bullet and an arrow, and they're both overpowered. Now for that we're going to need first of all some Shadow Flame, and these can be crafted from any of the weapons you get from the Goblin Summoner during a hard mode Goblin invasion. And to make the OP arrows we're going to need 111 wooden arrows, 1 torch, 1 fallen star, 1 curse flame, 1 shadow flame, 1 ice torch, 1 ichor, 1 vial of venom, 1 gold dust, and 1 nanite. That'll give you 111. To make the OP bullet, we're going to need 111 musket balls, 1 torch, 1 chlorophyte bar, 1 ice torch, 1 curse flame, 1 ichor, 1 vial of venom, 1 nanite, 1 gold dust, and 1 shadow flame. This mod also adds infinite ammo, so with 3,996 of the arrows or the bullets, we can in fact make the unlimited version. Well, this is 4 stacks. Now I already have them equipped, so let's try them out. So we will try out the minigun, and also got the phantasm in here as well, so we can try out the arrows as well. We'll try them out on some mech bosses just to see how they work out. Now be aware I also have full vortex armor on, as this is about the same progression as this is post Moonlord, so is this armor. So let's have a look. Let's try against Skeletron Prime first. Let's look at the minigun and the bullets. So as you can see, we do inflict a lot of debuffs. There's Ichor, there's Venom, there's Shadow Flame, Cursed, so we do a lot of damage over time. There also seems to be a homing effect as well. However, from what I can see, the homing ability isn't great because the bullets have too great a velocity, so they don't have time to speed back in or to home. And I believe it's just turned to daytime, which is just fantastic. Oh well, so we died to Skeletron Prime, but that doesn't matter. Right, so now that it's night time, let's try out the Phantasm with the OP arrows. Let's try against the Destroyer, as usually bows and things that piercing weapon. Oh, she got destroyed. Usually do quite well against the Destroyer. And I believe these pierce infinitely. I think so. But to be honest, this isn't really doing it for me. It's not doing the same amount of damage that I would hope it would. Because usually I'm in expert mode, which means the Destroyer's going to have more defense, more health, all those things. But usually a piercing weapon, which things like the Magical Harp, they do so much better than this. And with progression of the game, I just don't think these are... To be called OP, I think is incorrect. As you can see, the minigun in the OP bullets, they just shred the Destroyer compared to the OP arrows. It's just... The arrows are just not good. They don't do enough damage. I think that's the problem. They have a nice piercing effect, but there's no point having a piercing effect if there isn't enough damage on them. They need to be heavily boosted, or even just fire faster. Right, so that's going to do it for today. The mod is it's interesting, as I really like the minigun and I really like the OP bullets. But the OP arrows they're not overpowered. They're actually a bit rubbish. I'd rather use something like holy arrows or luminite arrows by that stage of the game. But apart from that, I like the accessories. I like I said, the minigun. I would definitely have this, but the arrows are definitely a downside. They need to be They need to have their damage increased. They need a severe buff if they're ever going to be useful. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.